the gentleman and said, you have 100 mil, they're both going to cost 100. That's just a number I'm throwing out there, you know what I mean? I'm not saying that as in, like, that's what's going to happen.
Asensio's got a high ceiling as well.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, and there's range of scoring. It's going to be Isco for 120 or Asensio for 180, probably.
150 with Isco's nice right now. Yeah. That's his thing.
Isco played James Rodriguez out of a job. That's the reason
James Rodriguez coming to United, bro. The number 10's free. Just remember that.
Yeah, not bad, man. Got to sort out that calf, though.
Did you hear what happened? He's not going back to Bayern.
He was on loan. He was on loan at Real Madrid. He doesn't
but they were supposed to make it permanent, but the guy was like, the new manager was like, yeah, you have no place in my team. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's not a typical Bayern player. They usually don't have that flair number 10. They have like a lot of workers, guys who can dribble and stuff, like Robin, Ribéry. Of course, they like that flair, but
it's just crazy to me.
First.
It's just crazy that a player like James Rodriguez is like doesn't have a home. You know, like James Rodriguez.
Dude, I like it. It's style, man. It's styles. I don't think James Rodriguez would do well at Chelsea.
That's true.
He's sick. Like he'd
good. Be sick at
he's
Arsenal.
quote unquote good enough to be on Chelsea, but the way they play, the system just doesn't benefit him. On Arsenal, he'd be great.
I don't think he'd be good. Like I don't want to say Liverpool, and this is no shot at you.
Work.
No, you know what? The thing is that they're just so fast. Like they just move so fast. I'm not saying James isn't a fast guy, but like,
but he can pull strings.
Though.
Yeah, he can pull strings.
He doesn't need to be fast.
He can put Salah in.
But if I were to see him, he'd probably be
in.
Yeah, no, I now I see it. But like if you were to be playing the number 10. I just feel like I don't think things would go too quick for him, but like.
But the thing is, he's quick. He's not fast. So in those tight areas,
puts him in.
I think he's quality. I think he can. Also, depends on who the coaches and the system. But he can play on any team in the EPL.
That's what Liverpool. Not so much really needs, but they don't really have someone to take set pieces. They got Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Dude, he scored his debut goal in this Champions League.
Salah doesn't really.
That's what I'm saying. They used to have Coutinho, but he's out. So
your boy Roberts too. You're two young fullbacks.
Yeah,
like the primary.
But if James is there, James easily takes it over them.
Naby Keita.
No, but I think James would take it in goal scoring free kicks. I don't think he would take it from out wide.
I think
especially on the right, he wouldn't.
I think we're sleeping. It's all good. I think we're sleeping on Naby Keita a little bit as his role as a 10. I think he might be able to come in. I think
he's going to be 8 and 10.
Be creative.
Like he's basically gonna. I think he's going to put Wijnaldum out of a job. Like Henderson will be there strictly number 6. You know, when he's healthy. When he's not healthy, I think Wijnaldum will come in. Chan is out.
Wijnaldum's going to be the new Henderson.
So they're still trying to find an attacking midfield, or is Oxlade-Chamberlain? Because I got Oxlade-Chamberlain if he comes back starting.
I think it'll be Oxlade, Keita, Henderson. So you can both pull. Because
I think Hendo's out.
I don't think.
He's not out. He's going to Liverpool. He's going to be restricted.
And Fabinho.
Well, exactly. That's what I mean. As a starter, not in terms of.
I think he's going to be a starter. They're getting cover for his Achilles injury.
Yeah. I think.
But he's the captain of the club, bro.
I know. He's
and what's his name loves him. Klopp is absolutely obsessed with him.
I think it'll be Fabinho playing that like number 6. Henderson will be playing like deeper, number 8, like more on the defensive side, kind of pulling the strings, and then you'll have.
I don't think he's got enough going forward, Hendo. Hendo's great winning the ball, lay it off to someone with ideas. Yeah. He doesn't have ideas going forward.
If you need a guy like Jordan Henderson who can hit that rocket from 30.
Yes,
that's
over
what
the
Liverpool
top to Salah, yeah,
and goals as well. So he drags out the defense. Now you can play the ball in behind to the fast guys.
I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, but back when Gerrard was there, and then it was Luis Suarez, Sterling.
Is he Spanish?
Yeah.
Gerrard.
Yeah, Gerrard. Yeah.
So you guys say Hazard. You guys say Hazard.
He's Belgian.
He's Belgian/French.
Henderson was playing the right side of that midfield, on like a 3-back, or 3 midfield, and he used to hit bombs to Sterling and Suarez and Sturridge, and they were they were dimes.
Yeah.
So no, he still has that. No, he still has that.
What happened?
He still has that. You just overlook it.
I think.
All right, easy.
I mean, if Liverpool
defensive, take it easy, Liverpool. You're talking about your luck like the past 5 minutes.
Hey, I'd take Henderson. I would take Henderson.
I'd
take Henderson over Xhaka. I'd take Henderson over El Nene, and maybe both together.
I won't, because I know those guys will be there to play.
Take Henderson over.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? What they do on the field playing?
They'll be there.
No,
Jordan Hendo, I can't get.
No, they run around the pitch, but I don't know if they actually play.
Hey, my boy
El makes dumb mistakes. Xhaka gets dumb red cards.
International baller.
International baller, but for the club level,
give it 10 minutes. Shaka's gonna get a red card anyways.
He'll be down coach. We'll see if Granit Xhaka doesn't ball this year, or at least like look like the guy who can actually who's on Switzerland.
I will send him.
Then it's Xhaka.
You sure?
But it could be Wenger. Could be a system thing.
Or it could be the player.
But we know he's an international baller, so that's what the question is. He can ball.
He got signed for Arsenal because of what he did internationally.
Give it a chance.
Yeah, he's a baller, man. International ball.
Yeah.
International.
I don't know if we can do it in the EPL. That might be a little much for him. But what up, everyone? PFC 253 had to sneak it in there real quick. Bet. We're talking World Cup. You wouldn't think we are, but we're hardcore fans, man.
You wouldn't think we are.
Constantly just talking footy, all kinds of footy. But this episode, we're going to focus on the first 4 games of the quarterfinals. Obviously, we're opening with the big one. The man who came in with a lot of promise, big price tag. He almost put his club into FIFA financial fair play trouble. We're talking Kylian Mbappé. Dude.
Oh, I love this
19 years old. France manages to beat Argentina in a 4-3 score.
Yes,
Probably
les
should have been
blues.
4-2.
Let's cook.
Allez les bleus! Dude, I was watching Drogba's Instagram. He's going nuts after every goal, dude.
Bro, there was some
love
nice
it, man.
goals in this game.
Dirty.
You kidding me? 4-3. I think the best game of the tournament
Easily.
thus
easily.
far. I mean, it had
Some
everything.
rockets.
Yeah.
Di Maria's goal was nice.
Di Maria's goal was nice. It had the pressure of Messi versus the world. It had the young French team coming into it as well. And
Dude, a
Man.
French team that was stuck in second. We said before in the previous episode, like France hadn't really kicked on. They got blanked by Denmark in the group stage as well. They finished on top of their group.
Yeah, but they were playing an Argentinian team that was stuck in reverse. That's the thing. All they had to do was be in second and third. Argentina just was in reverse the whole World Cup. Finally, both teams started going forward. They started looking dynamite up top, and we had 2 of the best goals we've seen in the entire World Cup in one match.
Not sure
The
has something
Pavard
to
one,
say
right?
about it.
Pavard
the
and then
Pavard
Di
goal
Maria.
Oh,
Ridiculous.
I thought Pavard's goal was nicer than Nacho's.
I think they were
I think
the
the Di
same.
Maria one you might be able to knock off a
Yeah.
Yeah,
little
but who's
bit.
Pavard, bro? Where was he?
Yeah.
Where was,
Dude, they
what
were
was
both
that?
backspin, outside of the foot, curling volleys, man. They were so nice.
Like,
Dude,
if you're
Pavard,
teaching
your
a
boy.
kid volleying technique, that's not the way.
No.
You can
That's-
teach a kid
that's styling.
volleying technique. Hit it
What,
with the
Pavard?
outside of your boot and lean almost like parallel to the ground.
That's not
that
correct,
was-
but at the same time, it was correct because he sliced the ball. Because too many times that people try to rip the ball straight through, and then when that happens, your foot naturally goes up. So you lift the ball over the net. So when you cut the
Yeah.
ball, you're going at a downward angle. So even if you mishit it, you're going to hit the ball to the ground.
I'm just saying,
a lot
that's
of
what
people-
That's physics 101 right there.
Well, a lot of people don't know that about
special
volleying.
goal because it wasn't traditional.
Yeah,
right?
when you're teaching, like Tom's saying, when you're teaching a kid how to volley, you don't teach him, hey, slice it so you cut it.
Yeah.
Like, you teach him,
He adjusted
get your
to the
foot
height of
over
the
the
ball.
ball. You know the Valencia goal, the volley he scored, like, mid-season? That's how you teach him. A power one, get your foot over it, make sure you're hitting at a downward angle. But that slice was just class, man. It's just a guy's been
the
playing
downward
since he
angle
was
is still a
16.
slice because the thing is, if you mishit it, you do slice it. If you hit it correctly, it can go
So
down.
you're saying-
So you always have the foot. I mean, you're going at it. You don't want to go in an upward.
Look, the technique
never.
was
obviously
amazing.
where
We agree
obviously
that-
where the ball is in the ear. Obviously,
Yeah. But Pavard's nice, man. I like him. I want him to go to Arsenal so badly. Someone to push Hector Bellerin, who I don't even know if he featured this. He didn't make the World Cup team,
No, he
man.
didn't
Like
make the squad.
So he was a guy who was pushing, and then
He
all
was
of a
about
sudden
to be the
now he's
best
not.
right back in the league in the EPL last season, or was it
He was
2
about to be
seasons
best right
ago?
back. Like, there was a time when, like, this is before Arsenal, like, really dropped off when he was, like,
Yeah.
coming out on the scene. You could make an argument he was top 3 in the world at
was
that
coming
point.
from Barca. And
you know what I mean?
And if you ever, my bad, Snacks. If you have a guy like Pavard pushing him, and he can play center back as well, Pavard, like, come on, man.
Yeah, Pavard's
It sounds,
studly, man.
sounds like
There was-
us with every player that comes up. And I need him at my club. Need him at my club.
well, I don't
Yeah,
need,
yeah,
but they would look great in that red jersey. But there's something the F2 guys.
Arsenal red. Thanks, Huss.
Yeah, right.
Appreciate that, bro.
You guys aren't. No,
Keep
you're
going,
like
though. What were you saying?
you guys aren't Arsenal red. You're period red. But
Whoa.
shots.
We murder red, bro. We murder red.
You murder.
That
why?
blood.
Is that why you
That
call the
blood.
gunners?
Bat.
'Cause you
Exactly.
murder people from
We shoot
behind?
you. Yeah, we shoot
Can't even
you.
shoot somebody
you
from
guys
the front.
did?
Take all your
But
dice.
you have to shoot from behind. So there's something the F2 guy did with Gerard, and he just cut the ball every single shot. You see it; it's so beautiful when you see his shot. Just cuts right there, just like Pavard. Look it up. I mean, it's a really good video.
I
Anyways,
know.
I'm gonna
Yeah, just
fade.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
faded on that one. You felt strong about it, then
So I know-
you're like, this is not going anywhere.
So this was a great
Steven
probably
Gerrard.
game of the tournament. I'm looking at Tom's computer and it says Mbappé was man of the match with the 2 goals in
Easily.
like 4 or 5 minutes. Listen, I said it last episode, and he came up in the clutch. Paul Pogba didn't have a goal or an assist, but he had such a commanding performance from the midfield. This is like when people come at me, like my dad, who doesn't really watch football that much, my older brother, who doesn't watch football that, like they watch and they understand, they know everybody, like we know everybody, but like they don't watch week in and week out like we do.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that Pogba guy was like really good, and I'm like, Like,
He's nice.
Where
you
you
live
been?
under a rock. It's Paul Pogba. And then I explained to him like why I think he's the best midfielder in the world. Same thing that everyone's telling me. He thought I was crazy, and no, he put in the performance that I was hoping that he would put in because he's had a really rough season, and like this is like. I don't want to say he's like Shaka where he's an international baller and he does that, but like does it only when it's like internationally. But like,
Yeah.
he came up, he did what he had to do, and
You know why, Snacks?
because he has a good manager. He has
No.
the decent
Because
manager.
N'Golo Kante's
That's
standing right next to him.
Dude, N'Golo Kante made
That's
Danny
why.
Drinks look like one of the top 5 center mids in the world. Chelsea
You have
got honey
all
dicked
the
into buying
freedom
him.
in the world. When N'Golo Kante's playing alongside you, you can spring forward, you can go on mazy runs, you can dribble because you know that guy's got my back no matter what.
And
He
realistically,
needs that.
I don't think Pogba had that great of a game. I thought
he
he
was
had
good.
I thought he was good.
Yeah.
But at his stature,
Could be better.
It was
That's what I'm saying. Is
So
like,
with Mbappe though, the most important thing that he said right there was man of the match. I don't care about his age. He looked like the man out there. He's no boy anymore. He's a
He's
man.
not.
I love how
coming up
France's
to
number 10. He's 19.
That's a heavy
no,
jersey.
Who's Argentina's number 10?
this game, he was a
You see what I did there?
I like that. I like that.
Dude, who's France's old number 10? I mean, you look at Zizou,
Zizou,
bro. He's
man.
wearing that Zizou jersey.
Did you
Before
hear how
that,
he got that?
Latini
Did you hear
before
how he
that.
got it? They were like,
eBay.
no, he goes, they're like, oh, so you took the number 10 shirt. Like how do you feel? He's like, honestly, like, it was just there and I asked if I could have it. Like, I didn't, like, make
That's
a big deal.
awesome.
He's just like, yeah, can I, he's just like, what number do you want? He's like, oh, what numbers are available? And someone said 10. I was like, yeah, I'll just take that.
Dude, he deserves
That's
it, man. That
insane.
60-yard run. First of all, Rojo, no need to cause that PK. That was panicky. Sure, Mbappe was going to get to that ball, but that touch, if you look at it, was away from goal, heading towards the line. Just stand
No.
next to this man.
I disagree with you.
Read it. Look at the replay. He
I
didn't
did.
need to foul him there.
It was the
at least
perfect
force
touch.
him. At least force him to cross it. No, but the
angle
touch
was narrow, but it was still
touch
a
was-
good enough angle to shoot it on goal, bro. The touch he took, I thought,
It
was actually
wasn't.
sublime at that speed.
Dude, it was absolutely perfect. But you give him that. You trust your goalie to bail you out there. You give him
think-
that angled shot. Yes, he was
Okay,
gonna.
if
Mbappe was gonna get there first, no question. Mbappe was gonna get there
that shot
first,
off, man. Look at that replay.
and he was gonna get that shot off at a tough angle, tougher angle than the goal he scored, the second goal he scored. All I'm saying is
he did the wrong
you
thing
give
by
him a
fouling him.
Yeah,
I
you don't
agree.
need to.
I'm
foul
not
him.
arguing against
Give
that.
the shot away.
But what I'm
yeah.
saying is, if he misses that PK, then all of a sudden we're like, wow, was that a smart foul by Rojo? You know, it just so happened Griezmann steps up, makes the PK, and I love how like Griezmann steps up in these moments because obviously he's infamous for that Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid Champions League final miss when he hit the crossbar.
All right, boss.
All right, Huss, with your shirt off.
It's
But he just
hot
keeps-
in here.
bro, like
It
he
is
steps
toasty.
up.
Yeah.
Like,
Now, how would you know? You're right next to the AC. You're
It's
taking.
off, bro.
Oh,
Is it?
Got it.
It's off. The mics would pick it up.
Oh,
It's off,
that
man.
was a salty snack right there. Yeah.
No, because he's looking at
that
me
was
like
unusual,
bro.
he's looking at me slyly smiling as he's taking a
sweet.
sip
Dude,
of
I'm
his
African,
drink.
man. I can survive this for a little while.
Yeah, man, but they step up, man. And Mbappe, bro, he's special, man. This is what you do when he's next up.
Dude,
He's
shout
next
out,
up.
Shout out
Next
to the
up, he's
unsung.
up right now.
Now it's like I think Neymar will be the next to win a Ballon d'Or, and then Mbappe.
I don't know.
I gotta ask
Not
you
if
guys a
Messi and
question.
Cristiano stay around for any longer because then Neymar will be pushed back. Mbappe will have another year or two. Neymar might miss his window.
No, miss it.
I would.
Over
I would
the
not be.
next 10 years.
I
what do you
would
mean
be
his
surprised
window?
if he did. I would be.
Over
I-
the next 10 years, Neymar's winning.
I got a
At some
quick question
point.
for you guys. So,
Yep.
if you guys don't listen to the Faux Brits show, you should definitely do that on iTunes. # free ad. So when we were talking, me and Amir were talking about it, and we talked about Mbappe, like just like not on the counter. So like I feel like his greatest strength is on the counter. You can't catch this guy like,
Easily.
And
I think.
one of the points that Amir had made was that he's faster with the ball than people are without the ball.
Yeah.
Like,
It's insane.
and
There are
it's
very
true.
few players like that.
and it's
Messi.
true,
Messi's
right?
the same.
You know what I mean? So, how do you guys feel about him when he's not on the counter? Like, because when I was talking to him, he's like, I don't rate him at that level, but like when you combine what he can do there and what he can do on the counter on the run, he could be one of the best players in the
The thing
world.
is, on the counter, he's so special that it makes the rest of his game look mediocre, but it's not.
That's
It's
the point
absolutely
I was
not,
trying
yeah.
to get to is because I think he's just a genuine good footballer.
Dude, he's
He
also
is.
I think
he's
he's
strong as
brilliant.
hell
Even
too
off
at
the
19
ball,
years old. Yeah.
If you look at the timing of his runs, that's what you have to look
yeah.
at for a forward, right? Especially a guy with this speed. So many guys
Go
cheat
early.
off sides. The timing of his runs. That's another thing I recognize with Mohamed Salah. The timing of his run is absolutely amazing. So, but his two flaws, he's not yet strong enough to play with his back to goal.
No, that's,
and he's not
yeah.
great in the air.
I agree.
Those are the only two flaws in his game that I've noticed.
But
I think
he's got
gonna,
the size too, though. Like you can see the
He
way
can
he's
put it-
built.
yeah.
By the time he's 26, this kid is gonna be unstoppable.
But I do like the fact that Tom brought up the runs for the strikers, because there's so many things that's overlooked. Or so many different type of positions, and one of them for strikers is the runs. What do they do off the ball? When they don't get the ball, do they still make those runs? Are they cheating on these runs? Are they going for that big moment, or are they playing conservative? It's all these little things that a lot of people don't watch. They watch the ball during the game. They don't watch what these players are doing off the ball, and that is a huge thing that Tom brought up, because when he makes these right runs, he not only has the right balance to start dribbling the ball, he has the right balance to continue to take that shot, and he has the ball on his strong foot. Too many times you see a player not at his stature will make the run a little too late. They might get knocked down. They're a little
Ridiculous.
unbalanced and sprinting.
That's something I noticed about Leroy Sané as well. At that age, to have that, it's a trait. It's like you just kind of born.
And I
It's an
think-
understanding of the game.
And I think that's a good. I'm going to use it for the Ronaldo and Messi debate we'll have probably at some point during this episode. But that's a good point that I want to save on like off the ball, because it's so overlooked by literally like everyone.
For sure.
They look at Messi and they see what he does, and I'm not going to discredit it. It's amazing, second to none. Probably no one else can do what he does. But you got to focus on off the ball runs, and like that's what makes players like Zlatan at this age still so good, because he knows what position to be in.
Yep.
Yeah.
He knows how to catch the defense cheating, so he can stay on sides while still having a step ahead. He's not that fast, and like most center backs could probably catch up to him, but he's so clever with what he does when he's off the ball that he can he'll just go out and score 30 goals a season just based on his positioning and
Yeah,
one
it's
time.
It's a
experience too,
massive
man. That's experience
football
too.
manager trait.
Yeah.
That's a big trait. I always look for that stat.
Yes.
Dude, the unsung hero in this game for me, man, young Olivier Giroud. Put up there to do a job. That through ball he played
did the
to Mbappe.
Oh, the
absolutely
weight on it,
perfect
the last
touch.
goal.
Dude, that system that they came out with looked like a training ground exercise with cones. Goes
back
from
through.
Lloris to Conte. Conte, instead of playing sideways, what's the first thing he does? Receive the ball, turn, look up. It was absolutely beautiful. And I think, I want to say, Giroud's the unsung hero, and I did say that, but man, I take that back. Conte, dude, offensively is an unsung hero. This guy, seen as the best number 6 defensively, we all know that. Now it's almost like in his head, he's like, okay, I've mastered the defensive game. What can I add more? Dude, this guy, you can actually play through him, not, entirely pull the strings through him.
All he has to do, he has to develop his shot, which I don't think he'll ever develop.
Doesn't even need to, because it's so high,
because
yeah.
of who he is. But that ball going forward, and I've
Dude.
seen him more and more
At
look for
Chelsea.
that clip over the ball. Exactly, Chelsea, Leicester. He looked to do it towards the end of the season a little bit more.
For sure.
So I don't think he's done developing, and you know what you can get from him defensively. For me,
Unbelievable.
I think the meat and potatoes of this game was the coach, Jorge Sampaoli of Argentina, not starting a center forward, starting Messi at the 9 position. He ended up getting 2 assists, Messi. So, I mean, you can't really say he choked. But at the same time, there was a point in time where they weren't able to hit that target man. And I think as soon as they were introduced a center forward, Argentina kind of looked a lot more dangerous with Aguero in there.
I was just going to bring this up, the same thing that you did, because they had Pavon on the outside right.
Yeah.
So Aguero, Higuain, or Dybala did not start for this team. And how can you have 3 players of that stature do not? And again, Dybala did not play at all.
Shocking.
Again.
I blame Messi, bro.
And again, if for Dybala, it gets to the point where you sit on the bench like, what do I have to do to start on this team?
Yes,
because when he plays decent. He doesn't play outstanding. Guess what? No one really plays outside. Di Maria played pretty well in this tournament.
Either way,
But-
man, when the ref refs this game like that, I thought the ref was pretty trash.
Oh,
too,
the
man.
ref was inconsistent. It was just random. Like, I'm going to let them play, then I'm going to call that. But then I'm going to call that.
Dude,
it's
and
like, what?
And look, I think Messi's 2 assists are great stat points, but let's look at that first assist. It's a shot that's deflected, so they give him an assist. That wasn't an attempt to
Gotta
pass.
shoot to score.
And the second assist was late to Aguero when they finally put on a forward. So I'm not saying Messi had a bad game or anything, but people see the 2 assists and they compare Ronaldo not doing anything in his game. We'll get into that a bit. But again, this wasn't the Messi we know. There weren't no driving runs. He
And
wasn't
this whole
unlocking the
tournament hasn't
defense.
been. I think
He's
since
done.
they lost.
Will Messi win a World Cup?
No.
No,
There's
it's
no
too
way.
late
No,
now,
next one
bro.
is gonna be
Everyone's
35.
Too old.
What if he wins it as a substitute player?
No.
He's coming
That
next
doesn't
World
count.
Cup.
He has
Because
to.
Dybala still won't be playing if he's on the team.
That's true.
If Messi wants to be considered the greatest of all time, And, like, if we're saying he has to win a World Cup to be that guy, he's got to be integral in doing it. And at 35 years old, hey, I could be wrong. He could be.
I don't think he does.
He could
Dude,
still.
I don't think.
I think he does.
I don't think you need
Okay.
to be the best. I don't think you need to win a
You have
World
to
Cup
be
to be
integral.
the best.
You have to be integral. You can't be a substitute player and make 2 appearances the entire World Cup or come on the 60.
You know what I think I think you can. I think if Messi is able to be introduced like a Rafa Marquez to Mexico, come on in that role, maybe score like a penalty kick or something like that, or 2.
Yeah,
And
but we know that's
just having the chip, essentially, the trophy over time. Because we're living in this time, or 2022, if he wins, Argentina wins in Qatar, okay, we'll give him criticism like you weren't the guy. But the history books will show, I think, as time goes on, that and he won his World Cup on top of all the stuff he did at club.
And for me, that's a flaw. That's an absolute flaw. Like Ronaldo winning that Euro, I give him props because he was on the sideline. But we said or a couple episodes ago, like, I give him props. But he wasn't there. He didn't score the goal that mattered to get there. Yes, he helped them get there. But at the end of the day, when you want to be the best of all, like, it has to be the S on your chest. So that's why, for me, because it's based on teams, guys like Aubameyang will never win a World Cup, no matter how well he plays. So I always pull back from the international. I know a lot. The default is like, you look at Pele, how many trophies he won, blah, blah, blah. For me, it's looking at Ballon d'Ors and how you affected your team.
Yeah, but
and he hasn't. Well,
he hasn't affected his team internationally. Look, and then not to get too carried away, they got to, I think, 2 finals, 2 or 3 finals, Copa America. They made some noise, but like in those performances,
his stats are there.
Yeah,
that's the thing with Messi internationally. Like,
exactly,
all-time leader for Argentina. So, like, I know it seems like harsh that we give him this criticism. It's just
when you watch him with your eyeballs versus
one shot away. He was literally 1 shot away from being higher up in the hierarchy of best players in the world. This tournament right here, the World Cup, was huge.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about the
World Cup trademarked by FIFA. This tournament, go ahead.
This tournament right here, the World Cup, was huge for CR7 and Messi. One of them needed to go further than the other. One of them needed to make a huge push, because if CR7 was able to, because he already won the Euros, if he made a big push this one, that just puts him head and shoulders over Messi, just tournament-wise.
Narrative, Huss.
But
I love
on
it.
this
They're
one,
equal now, right?
But now, because they both lost, and then Messi, if he was able to go further than Cristiano, yes, you won the Euros, but guess what? This is the whole world.
Yeah.
But now that they're both out at literally the same day,
CR7 still got the edge.
so if
Question
Portugal don't win in 2 years at the Euros, and Argentina does, they're right back on track to being pretty much even again.
But you're
Which isn't
also,
fair.
and you guys are also,
It's not fair, but it
yeah.
is.
No, here's the
what it
thing.
is.
I think going off of that, I like that narrative as well. But like for me, the way I'm looking at it, because, like I said, like when you're on one side of the spectrum, you put, like, if you're a Messi guy, you probably get all the Ronaldo haters on you. If you're a Ronaldo guy, you get all the Messi haters on you.
Polarizing.
And one of the things that I've like been thinking about, like when I do that, like especially after yesterday's result, it was yesterday, right? Yeah. After yesterday's results, too much soccer going on. After yesterday's results, you look at everything, and they both lost. You could argue Ronaldo had a much better tournament than Messi did. I can certainly make that argument, but you look at it now, and they're exactly back where we started before the World Cup. Out at the same time, sure, one did better than the other at the World Cup, but it's that same argument that you have when you started the World Cup and who you think is better, and you can still make those exact same points.
Go ahead, Huss.
I don't know if you can say Cristiano had a better tournament, because he had 3 goals in the first game, which was great. They had 1, and then he died off.
No, but
and then Messi got better as the tournament went on, and he had 2 assists when the game mattered.
But look at those assists, right? I say he had 1 assist to Aguero.
The other one was the first one was
shot.
lucky.
But if you want to talk about stats,
but I don't.
No.
That's the point.
You gotta
That's
talk
why I
about
stay
both.
away
Then
from
you gotta
stats.
watch the you gotta watch the game.
You watch the play, and to Tom's point, historically, people aren't going to sit down and watch this World Cup. They're going to look at the numbers and say Messi got 2 assists, Ronaldo got 3 goals.
Well, they're going to look at a total of their career.
Yeah, and
Which
you look
does
at
matter.
It does
But
to a
it's
certain
not
extent. It's not
Stats
everything,
matter,
but
but they're not
historically,
everything.
it is everything.
And you
We
guys
talk about Pele and his 1,200 goals. Meanwhile, he's playing against guys who were smoking cigarettes at halftime.
Look, when you win 3 World Cups, and he started 17, 18,
yeah. He was ahead of his time.
different,
man.
yeah.
He
Pele
was
was
special.
different.
He was special.
I think just kind of going off of that point, like it also depends on how you like to look at the game. And I realized this when I was arguing with my brother. He is like, he's always been that type, because he was like a college star. He played college ball.
Basketball?
No,
Okay,
college football.
Okay.
Soccer.
Linebacker.
3 sports.
And
3
he-
sport athlete.
Oh, what a stud.
And he's one of those guys he liked to play center mid and like kind of just like wiggle around people. You know what I mean? So that is like when he looks at the game, he thinks from that perspective of like, if I was in that's what's most impressive is getting by people.
Yeah.
That's why he says Messi's the best. But like for me, someone who was always just kind of a poacher and would like touch the ball and go, even as a winger, touch the ball and go. I look at the way Ronaldo's playing, even now to this day. I see that and I find that more valuable. And I'm sure all of you guys have completely different ways that you think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like, that's why this argument is so interesting is that there's never going to be a right or wrong answer.
Yeah.
Not because they're so close, because, well, that's obviously a key factor, but, like, the way you look
preference,
at
man.
the way you look at the game, exactly,
That's
the way you prefer
preference.
to see the game played.
Yeah. That's why, I always shit on Messi, blah, blah, blah. I'll take Ronaldo over him. But again, I go back to my stance. These guys are equal. It just comes down to what you prefer.
Yeah.
What you
But I mean,
respect
in this
more, yeah.
tournament, the big thing that I saw with Cristiano rather than Messi was Cristiano. He was lively. Like when he got the
He
ball,
wanted
That's
it.
the
he
difference.
went boom. He went 0 to
That's the
60 like
difference.
quickly, and Messi
What-
would maybe go horizontal. Maybe you look for the pass where Cristiano's runs were more dangerous. Shall we say?
I think that's what we can take out of this tournament and the why Ronaldo edges Messi. It's because when the spotlight was on, Ronaldo puffed his chest
actually
out.
looked like the best player in the
He
world.
He puffed
Like,
his
kinda-
chest out when the spotlight was on Messi. You see him at
He's
at
a
the
shell.
start of the
He's a
game.
shell.
He's covering his face, like you know what I mean. He loses a game. He's
And I think
standing
the
there.
hat trick has something to do with it. The
Yeah,
hat
he
trick
started
against
off on
Spain,
the wrong foot.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
in that, and knowing that you're down 3-2, you need that point. He hits the free kick. Messi, like I agree with you, Huss. He got better as the tournament went on, but
He never became Messi.
statistically he got better.
But-
when you saw him play,
was
you
all
didn't see
the
that
same.
spark.
You know what? It's also I think it does
Except
come
for
down
that
to
goal against
mentality.
Nigeria. That was the Messi
Yeah.
spark.
That was
Mentality,
special.
personality. Cristiano loved that spotlight because look, every time you saw him talking to a
Transition is
teammate, he'd be right by the cameras. Brings his teammates together at halftime, talking to them.
The goat. He does the Billy
the
goat
goat.
celebration.
How about that free kick when he puts his shorts all the way up his butt crack?
You see that? I knew that was too much. I was like, come on, man.
Because he
just
was
chill.
going for the Time
doing it-
magazine
Exactly.
cover
He was
right
going
there.
For, he was thinking about
was
the
going
Sports
for the
Illustrated
cover.
100% focus.
He was doing it for the ladies, bro.
He
We
was
know
doing it for the magazine, the
For
media,
sure.
not
He-
Man squats 1,000 pounds.
No,
though.
I've seen a lot of his games. I've never seen him pull his shorts up
Oh,
that
I've-
high.
no,
he
I've
does
seen
it all
No,
the
I
time.
mean,
Yeah, I've seen it.
no,
He
he
does
doesn't.
it
No,
all
he
the time.
pulls them up a
Yeah,
lot,
no.
but not
No, G-string
that high.
No,
That,
he does
that
it.
was like Yokozuna, like sumo wrestler
Dude,
high.
that was straight up sexy. Speaking of CR7, knocked out of the World Cup as well, like we said earlier, by a clinical Cavani showing up.
Hey,
shots, 2 goals.
clinical Cavani.
Clinical performance,
Well,
absolutely
'cause he's a
undeniable.
clinical player.
Wow, look,
Well, that
Yes.
first
every
header,
squirrel.
the first header looked like the ball hit him in the face. He's like,
Yeah.
"What happened?"
Did it go in?
I don't know if he meant to.
That's what
No, he
matters
put
at
his
the
face in the
day.
right spot, but it kind of looked like the ball hit his
that
face.
was-
rather
You
than-
could nut
Yeah,
the
that was
ball
ugly.
into the goal.
He looked
as
like
long
he
as it
hit his
crosses the
shoulder
line.
drop.
He looked like he
It's
got
a
hit by a
goal.
bus.
Yeah.
Went in. I scored it.
Exactly. I
He's-
scored it.
Dude, but
I
he,
scored it, and
he
that's
ends
what he
up-
did.
He ends up coming off the field,
Injured.
and he has to go through a scan, which is massive news for the
Good.
next opponent's France.
Good. My picks are still in it to win, so
Did you check him for a concussion after that header too?
Dude, I love that. That first goal was amazing, though, because it was just Cavani to
Dude.
Suarez. Long ball, cross field to
Back
Suarez.
post.
Suarez
that was good.
cuts in, and then it's a back post header.
That was
I mean,
brilliant.
that was
That
beautiful.
was just great football. That was just great football from the young Suarez and Cavani combination. Listen, Cavani's never like really been the best of international players. He's showing up this tournament. He's shutting a lot
Big
of
time.
people up.
Big time.
That second finish, like you could argue both of the goals were like caused by stupid errors, but they're nice finishes, and you can't take that away from Cavani.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So like when someone's like, "Oh, did you see Cavani score 2 goals?" I can't be like, "Well, there are 2 errors. Like there were all 2 huge blunders, but like such
Yeah.
good finishes to the point where
Either
it's
way, if he's not on the field, Portugal
don't-
might not be out. So he sent his team to the quarters,
Can
man.
I say something real quick?
Go
I just
for it.
want to apologize to the ref of the France-Argentina game. It wasn't his best game. His name Ali Reza Fagani. Okay, maybe not the best game, but whatever. This ref for the Uruguay-Portugal game, that's the ref I meant to actually say. Cesar Arturo Ramos Palazuelos. Bro, you suck.
This guy was all over the place.
He didn't
Nothing
call
you said.
one foul.
Bro,
Dude, no,
He
he
doesn't
called
even
fouls.
do
They're
it.
Then
yellows.
he would call random fouls. He would call just random fouls.
No,
I
but
don't think
he
it was
look.
that bad.
Oh.
You kidding me, dude?
How about that last?
that
There was so many yellow
at the
cards that
end.
could have been.
Even at
that
the
he could've
end, outside the
controlled
box.
the game.
But the thing is,
Oh.
it was 2 teams that were physical. Look, there were a lot of yellow cards missed, but he missed them for both teams. If one team was getting all the yellows, I'd be like, okay, it was
I get that, but you know what? No,
letting them
you
play.
cannot do that because as a referee, your job is player safety.
Dude, no one came off injured. No one got.
That's not the point.
No, it is the point.
No, it's not the point.
He went up to the line and never went over the edge. There was no player unsafe on that field. To you, it felt unsafe. But you watch all the tackles. No player was unsafe, dude. It was just a super physical game.
There were some yellows. Were the yellow card challenges?
There were some yellows, but he didn't give them to
then.
anyone. If he gave him to one team, I'd be like, inconsistency. He was inconsistently letting him go to the edge.
On the premise that there were yellow card challenges in this game, and he did not give a yellow card
to either team.
To either team.
It evens out. It becomes consistent.
Okay, that's the end result, but you don't know that how it's going to end up.
But he's managing. But that's game management.
In that situation, you're not adhering to player safety. You're not. That's why I thought he had a rough game.
Nah, man.
I thought he had a rough game.
I think he let these guys play physical. We haven't seen a game like this since '94. He took it back to the. We used to watch soccer like this, especially in the EPL. This is how games used to go.
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed it. The guys I was watching with were also saying yellow card, yellow card. In my head, I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. But if he's not giving that yellow, as long as he doesn't give the next,
that's not what I'm saying.
No.
But there were certain challenges that was just grotesquely obvious.
And I don't
agree. But Portugal did it too.
But no, see,
I'm
the other way.
He called the fouls.
I'm the other way. Didn't call the yellows. No, I'm the other way. I don't care about the number cards. I don't care about how many fouls he called. I thought it was awkward. I mean, it wasn't correct on some of the calls because he annihilated the rhythm of the game for me at times. And he would call a random foul that he just let go, maybe like 10 minutes before.
That's what I'm saying.
The inconsistency was the one. If he let both go, I'm all for that.
I didn't see inconsistency.
The number one that was inconsistent was the last foul of the game where Cristiano got the yellow card when there was a foul outside the box when the left back went through Quaresma. He went in and then went through Quaresma and went out right at the edge of the box. That should have been a free kick.
No, Quaresma was selling that.
But the thing is, he just called one like that.
No, there was barely any contact.
Because you call one,
he went
doesn't
through
mean
him.
you have to call.
He didn't go through him.
That's not how it works.
There was another one just like that.
That one was actually a good no call. I thought Quaresma.
Then let the one for Argentina before that be a no call as well. There was one just like I can't think about who it was, but there was something just like that.
Quaresma was trying to bait him into a tackle. The guy went in and pulled out last minute, and Quaresma tried to like initiate contact.
And Portugal was frustrated because he hadn't been calling fouls all day.
But again, you don't. What I'm saying is,
it's like the last minute of the game. You got to factor that in. That's like when it's like when you think it's a foul and it's like we have a chance to like go for it and they don't call it. Like that. That's heartbreaking. Yeah. You know what I mean? So you're like. It's not more like you're upset that the ref didn't make the call, but you're panicking that the game's about to end.
I wish I could remember who the foul went for, but it was an Uruguayan player.
Portugal.
And no, Uruguayan player that he got the foul when a Portuguese went through him just like that, and he called it, and then he didn't call. So again, I don't care about what he calls, what he doesn't call, like. As long as they're even. If you're going to call for one team,
I think
call for the other.
This ref, maybe except for Tiki, this ref.
I enjoy this.
He was below par.
He had a bad game. Like the 90s EPL, bro.
No, 90s EPL will keep it consistent. This guy did not keep it consistent. I love the physicality. Just keep it consistent.
CR7 wasn't receiving the
treatment.
Not only the superstar treatment, but the service. That's what I want to say. He wasn't receiving the service from his players.
Just going off of
what the hell was that about, man? Like literally, you have one of the best hang time dudes in the game. I understand
one of the best, probably.
You got a bunch of dribblers in there.
Just cross the ball. There were multiple times where Silva would get it out wide, time to serve it, cuts it back. When
hold on to the ball for like 10 extra touches.
That's the point I really want to get into, and the reason why I think Portugal really lost this game. Their manager he messed up bad with this team selection. I'm looking at the starting 11.
Agreed.
Listen, Gonçalo Guedes had an awful opening game. He had at least 2 opportunities to put Spain away. Think of it like this. Factor everything that happened in that Spain game. If Guedes puts one away, Portugal win. Yeah. And I'm taking everything else, the free kick, everything that happens.
For sure.
And Bernardo, and like, I'm looking at it like this, and I said this on the Faux Brits yesterday. Charisma, who just scored arguably goal of the tournament, and and I think you were saying it in the group chat, Tiki. They have chemistry on top of that.
Loves Ronaldo.
But this guy can,
they love each
from
other.
any position on that right-hand side, he can swing the ball outside of the boot. He can probably kick a ball with his heel and it'll reach Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
He's nasty. I agree with you. Snacks is a great point with the player selection thing.
It was awful.
Looking at Gelson Martins.
Thank you.
He's been on fire all year.
Dude, it was late in the game, right? He pulls out, I think, Bernardo Silva or João Mario
Joe
and
Mario.
puts on Fernandez, dude. A center mid.
You know why?
Dude, it's late in the game. Put on Gelson Martins,
He
beat
doesn't
him down the
believe in
line
him.
and serve.
He does not believe in him.
Crap, man.
And you
He's
guys
just like,
gotta-
he's just a fast player.
And you guys got to look at this, too.
That's crap, man.
Cedric Suarez, who wasn't suspended, had been playing. He played every group stage game. So
Yeah,
you know what?
happened with Cedric?
I'm gonna throw Ricardo Pereira in there. So it's like
Pereira, by the way, Pereira got a 5.9.
he was awful. He was terrible.
He was raw. And they,
You know
they
what I
looked
mean?
like they were
They
attacking
went
him on that
after him,
side.
yeah.
Yeah, Suarez did the
Dude,
first goal.
Yeah, great call.
Yeah, and I just think, the big one should have been Charisma on the right, especially in this 4-4-2 system, and Adrian Silva up with Ronaldo. I'm not saying Adrian Silva is Andre. Yeah, not
Yeah,
Adrian.
that's
Andre Silva should be up top with Ronaldo, and I'm not saying that because I think Andre Silva is an unreal striker. Bro, I don't even know who this guy is, but the one game that I saw him playing, his link-up play with Ronaldo was much better. He looked more comfortable on the ball, much better getting the ball out wide to the two outside mids. Yeah, this just like, I don't know, like maybe in a training session they had like some unreal like setup play going on.
No, he just overthought it, man.
I don't know what he was thinking with Guedes. I can't believe
Play
it.
your best players, and I thought he overthought it with the right back thing. Maybe Cedric had an injury we don't know about, or was just fatigued and needed that break from the trainer, or something like that. Things happen like that over the course of a tournament. Adrian Silva and Carvalho, that's a really slow midfield. I think you tuck Bernardo Silva into that central role. You saw he was causing all sort of
and late in the game, yeah.
when they did that late in the game.
He plays it at City. He plays that position centrally at
you
City.
know William Carvalho is going to hold you down. He's going to hold you down. He's the balance in there. Now you have Quaresma on the right. I agree. And I like Fernando Santos, the Portuguese head coach. I thought he'd been doing a great job.
That's
Just
right.
player selection. That's the hardest
And
thing
I think
internationally.
if going off of that, even if you want, by all means, you want Bernardo Silva out wide, you could sub out Adrian Silva or Carvalho for Joao Moutinho, who's not the quickest of guys, but he can zip passes from anywhere on the field.
And that's the curse
Yeah,
when
I
you
love
have
Joao,
quality.
man.
Because
I
you
love
look at
Joao.
Uruguay and it's like, this is our best starting 11. This is who we have to play.
Yeah.
Like, you miss one.
And that's sometimes a blessing.
Yeah,
when
it
you're in that
is.
position, you're like, dude, we don't have a choice. We're playing these 11 guys. If you're healthy, you're playing.
But let's not forget that Portugal had 20 shots. They had 5 on target. They got 1 goal. Uruguay had 5 total shots.
So negative.
3
Fuck, I hate Uruguay.
3 on net. 2 of them went in. When they got the ball in net, they had a 66% chance of scoring. That's unreal compared to Portugal, where
It's efficient. But when you got
it's
Cavani
very
on your
efficient.
team, you know, he's going to put it in the back of the net.
Okay,
And that
look,
second
we
goal,
never said Cavani was a bad player. We always said he was a
That's
really good
always
player.
spins
And guess
that.
what? Really good players always have their day. Let's see if he comes back and does it next
what you
round.
said was he wasn't clinical. And he is clinical.
He wasn't clinical the first 3 matches, and he had a good day. And clinical is consistency. Let's see if he can keep doing it.
When you
If he
score the
scores
amount of goals he scored in his career, this is my thing with him. All right, you get
Wait.
the cool nickname El Matador. You don't just get nicknames.
No,
for
but
nothing out here,
Almatador is not.
okay.
Almatador is
And-
his physique.
No, it's a nickname. Just
Yes,
like
it's the nickname
Higuain
for
is
his-
El Pepita. You give
Yes,
it a
and why
nickname
did they
once you
call
get
him
to.
El Pepita?
Yeah.
Because he's a little guy.
But once you
So
get, my point is, once you get to a certain standard, right? A certain they don't just give nicknames to anyone. Is my point.
No,
You
no,
have to
agreed.
be good enough. And then the second thing is, when you score the amount of goals a player scores, I understand breaking down the statistic. You're like, okay, you're not as clinical as Harry Kane, as Suarez. I get that. He's not a top 5 striker, but he's in that top 10 range.
Nah,
and to me, he's less clinical than those guys, but he's still
See,
clinical.
I wouldn't say he's clinical.
because
He's a big
there's
fish in
levels to
a
this shit.
smallish,
No, again-
smallish ocean. He's like in the Indian Ocean
Again,
right now.
for you, with the big stage player, for me, clinical's a small club. There's no levels of clinical. It's either you're black and white for me. You're clinical or you're not. If you're missing breakaways, if you're taking, when you watch him for PSG, some games, bro, they have highlight tapes of this guy's misses. I haven't seen highlight tapes of Suarez, Kane.
Because he gets so
that's-
many chances.
But that's my point, man. He should
Okay.
be putting. You give
He's
Suarez.
because Suarez is a better finisher. There's
Agreed.
levels,
for me-
so he's more clinical. If
No,
you're-
for me, bro. All I'm saying is, for me, clinical is black and white.
Your level of clinical is 95 and above. Mine is 90 to 100.
Fair enough.
So he's not in
Fair
there.
enough. So he's not. For me,
that's
he's
like
not in
85.
there.
So
Yeah.
that's what I think.
For me, he's not in there.
You're still not talking about Cavani though. If you say 90,
Because when you score, when you talk about his finishing, you should
still
be.
taking Kane and
You
Suarez.
should be when you talk about his finishing and his heading. You should be. That's my point.
look at the team he's on in the league he's on.
Look at the amount of goals he scored in his career. Who
guys-
does that?
I know
Who scores that many goals and is not a clinical
Zlatan
finisher,
did it
dude?
in like 2 years.
Because he
literally did it.
Took everything from him.
And then he went to United. Yeah, he did good, but then it was still
you're
a hard
redundant
league.
in your points because you keep mentioning players who are better than him. Mention a player
who
who's
are
worse than
better
him.
at that specific trait. That's it.
Yes,
dude,
because they are, but just because they're better doesn't mean he's not
And
good.
and that's the thing
he is good,
Yeah,
but he
that's
doesn't get that. He doesn't.
good enough.
In FIFA,
My
he
bad,
doesn't
good
get
enough. Then
In FIFA, for me, he doesn't get that badge. That's all I'm saying. FIFA
And
doesn't
I
get
think,
that badge.
the reason why we say the clinical trait and all that stuff, it's because he's a striker. He's the guy that's leading the line, and you look at that's obvious. I feel kind of
because he scores goals. Adebayo is not clinical.
No, he's not.
He's not. He led lines.
So we're
For
putting
me,
Cavani and Adebayo in the same sentence right now?
For me,
Yes.
that club is very limited. You can't be missing breakaways, the most breakaways in Europe, and still be in that club.
But yeah,
if
for-
you score the most in Europe,
No,
then
because-
you can't
because-
because now
no.
it shows that you had the most chances.
No. The difference is you put Suarez in there. He's not missing as much
As
as.
Suarez is a better. We're going in circles.
Yeah, that's
We're
what
going
I'm
in
saying,
circles.
man.
We're going in circles.
I'll never
That's
put him
all
in
this
that
is.
club.
I know because
I-
y'all are haters.
I got no comment on this. I don't know. I mean, I've never been a Cavani guy. He stung my heart when he didn't decide for United. I thought it was for the better, to be completely honest with you. But back then,
So
back
what
in
hurt?
in 2013 and 2014, when someone says no to you, it hurts.
That sounds rapey.
Oh my
I
God!
put myself in that hole. You know what? I deserve that.
I did just see a report of someone walking around the neighborhood with a man bun. So is that you?
Here we go. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what
Well,
you're
let
talking
him loose out
Getting it
there.
out.
Yeah, but
Wild thing.
this is a tough result for Portugal. I think it's a little bit skewed. I think I'm just making an excuse for Ronaldo because he's one of my favorite players, but he was not given the platform to. And I bring this point up a lot because it really is huge. I don't think he had the platform to succeed because you could argue the teams cater to his strengths, but when it's evidently clear that Goncalo Guedes is not just not playing well, but he's playing poorly. He's hurting your team as opposed to helping. And you still start him in arguably, well, not even arguably now, but easily the most important match of your tournament. That's just bad team selection. Not starting the hot hand when Charisma scores a Schürrle, the first person on this team to score other than Ronaldo. You know what I mean? So I look at this and people are like, well, Ronaldo didn't do anything. Bro, you look at his team and you compare it to Argentina. If you put Ronaldo on that Argentina team with the type of service he'd be getting, there would be no debate. There would be 100% no debate that he's the best player in the world. But since he's on this team where...
That's a tough one to say, but I will agree with you with the charisma.
I'll back Snacks. With the bravery that Ronaldo plays with, you put him on Argentina around Higuain, around Aguero,
Dybala as well. Even though...
Whoa, you're making it seem like they're going to play.
Exactly.
No, it's not that they're going to play. It's that if they don't play, there's at least one or two other guys who will. They don't all have to play. Ronaldo got through Spain.
You just named the three people that didn't play. None of them played.
No,
except
but
for
you're
Aguero
saying
that played
that, right?
2 seconds.
No, but
left in
you're
the game.
saying that? You're saying that? So I don't mean to interrupt you, but you're saying that? But Ronaldo's a different player than what Messi is. He doesn't take the ball and cut in anymore. So you can afford to have the Dybalas out there.
Yeah, but my thing is you have the same coach, right? And he's going to play
Tom,
Dybala.
Again, there's literally an article that came out before this World Cup started. Messi complaining, not me making it up, literally words out of his mouth complaining that Dybala snuffs his creativity. So we can pretend like it's the coach's fault. I don't think Messi's saying don't start Dybala, but when your best player comes out and says I have no chemistry with that guy, obviously Sampaoli is going to be like, all right, am I going to upset the best player in the world, or am I give him what he wants?
But I'll tell you what, it depends on if you're a great coach or not. And it's not an easy thing. You have to take your best players, his thoughts into consideration. But if Alex Ferguson is coaching this team and Messi says whatever he wants, okay, Messi, I understand, but fuck off. I make the final decision.
Agreed.
And that is where Jorge Sampaoli, if it's true that the players are picking the lineup, that's where he's failed as a manager for me.
So if we're
lost the locker
if we're
room.
going to switch Cristiano and teams, we could very well just say, would Argentina do better without Messi?
I think it's too much of a...
I mean, that is actually more of a... I would rather discuss that rather than switching Cristiano to a different team.
Honestly,
I was just making the point that it was because of the service that Ronaldo was not getting is the reason why he... People look at Ronaldo and, you may say he's a one-dimensional player. All he can do is score. And the stats... Low-key, they kind of back him up. They were doing, they had, a thing on Fox Sports where they had Neymar, Messi, and Ronaldo. And Ronaldo had the least amount of shots with the most amount of goals, but he had the least amount of key passes. So you could
best
argue.
finisher.
But if you
Ronaldo's the best
if you
finisher
ever hear
of all
someone
time.
say, "Oh, he's one-dimensional," you can just tell them shut up because he's more than one-dimensional just with scoring. And so I do agree. I'm going to agree with you with the charisma for the fact that charisma. If you want to talk about bad boys, he loves the bad boys. We talked about that in the past.
Dude.
Charisma is
Suck his
the
hell up.
ultimate bad boy. Tattoos, only using one foot,
Baggy shorts.
getting into fights with managers,
Weird hat,
just
weird
not
hairstyle.
like attitude, just
Hey,
quitting on teams. But the thing is, as much as he's a mental case, he's emotional. So when his emotions are riding high and he's with the best player or maybe one of the two best players in the world that has his back, you know he's gonna be firing. So you
And he
got
made a
to
difference
you
when he
use
came in,
his
too.
energy to a positive.
And you know why?
You don't settle. You don't put one of those people in the cage.
And you know what else? He plays with an S on his chest. Charisma never hides, man. That's the other thing. Sure, he might be
Takes
having a
balls
bad
to
game,
take that
but
shot
he wants that
against,
ball. Yeah, the outside of the boot
against
shot.
Iran.
Like,
That takes nuts. That takes
And
balls.
you know what? If there was one time at the end of the game where he slipped, and he had to come back. I think he caused a foul, whatever. With the kid with the dreads with the
Like
Gross.
Salt.
So if he didn't
That's the
slip right
roaster.
there, he very well could have got around him and swung it in. The minute that Charisma got on the field, it was play the ball to the right side.
And he was
let
actually
this guy
crossing the ball.
work.
Funny, he was actually crossing it.
And they were
Ronaldo
getting
would just
chances.
hold on to it.
He knew his
Dude,
job.
by the way-
He knew his job. Get it cross.
Sir,
Get
by
it
the
cross.
way,
Get it
the only
cross.
goal that Portugal got came from a cross. So
Thank
I don't
you, 'cause they're
understand
a
after
crossing
that.
team. That's why I say if you
And then
flip
the
this
game
whole
before
Messi
that.
Ronaldo thing, the team still has its identity. It would be weird.
It's crossing
Yeah,
because
man.
you also have Pepe moving up on the line for
Good to
Dude.
see Pepe score though. You know, I mean, I know he's another guy
He's a
who
bad boy.
splits opinions. He is a bad boy, but I love to see old guys, old veterans like
Old
that. It's
dogs.
his third World Cup, getting a goal, bringing him back in there, even though he had his error. But
Yeah, man. Speaking of old veterans,
Short heart.
Spain playing Mararasha.
Oh my goodness.
Me and
Yes.
nice transition.
You guys jockeying this
Listen,
old
freshman.
Spanish team. This team never got out first gear.
First
Never
gear.
mind.
They're in park.
Yeah.
like they're two.
Is the
like
car
four-
starting?
They got 4 flat tires and a dead battery. Like, this is a junk
Cars
car.
haven't even started. Dude, Russia, this played into Russia's hand. L, I think, sent us a stat. Spain had 1,029 passes, all east and west, basically, while Russia had, I think, 209, something like
202.
that.
I
That
think
is
it
my
was.
issue with Spain. No penetration.
Why
Well,
do you
just-
bring Costa? Why did they even bring him?
Play the target man.
Why'd
Play
they
it
bring
up
him?
so that the defense sinks into him. Now this creates holes out wide. All that we're doing is going east to west,
And
side
they're
to
doing
side.
it slow. It's one thing to
Oh,
like
my
play
God.
that pass that skips over 2 guys in the middle, big switch. Now everyone has to shift. Now you got him out of balance. No, it was going literally Asensio to Isco to.
It got to the point where Ramos was in his own attacking half and just swinging it from side to side.
But not only that, but you have Iniesta, Isco. I can't tell you how many times that they hit the ball down, whatever, and no one's up there helping. So when they did play the ball long, nobody was helping at all. There was the gap between the forward and the midfield and the defense.
Isco was the only one.
But there'd
He
be
was the
times
only
that he
midfielder
wasn't
who
able
was
to get
doing
up there
work.
because he'd have to track
Yeah.
all the way
You know
back
the pro-
and all the way forward, and he wasn't physically able to do that all game.
The biggest mistake I think Spain made this tournament, and unfortunately for them, they learned the system back in 2010, was when they didn't have a true number 9, so they had to go with the false 9, and they didn't have wingers because just wingers weren't available
Yeah,
for them.
attacking mids. Yeah.
Attacking mids and center mids, so everything was through the center. So the last 8 years, they've basically just focused on playing through the center. And when you have guys like Aspas, when Aspas came on, he made a difference.
Lively.
When you have a guy like Vasquez, I know Vasquez is still splits
Thank you
people.
for bringing up. He's a dude they should play for.
They
with.
should have played with, dude. With
And
have
speed.
Isco in there, maybe Iniesta or Asensio, whoever you want to play, but you have Busquets and Koke sitting. There's no need for Moreno to be in there. You know what I mean? Like, you need guys who are going to get out wide, stretch the
You
defense,
just made
and
me
they just
sad.
didn't.
You
I
know
think
what?
I think the Rodrigo sub was just so they could go on and push forward. But Marco Asensio, so disappointed with this performance. He's one of like my favorite players, if not my. Mbappe's my favorite youth player, but Asensio's number 2, honestly. And
Dude,
I didn't see anything from him. He wasn't lively.
You know what it is,
all.
man? It's one, it's rhythm. And 2, it's that East-West that was playing in Spain. I think
3,
in his head,
it's the Isco show.
that too. But I think in his head, he was like, I'm new to the, I just came on. I'm not going to be the one who messes up. Everything's safe,
His
everything
first
clean.
World Cup start.
Yeah,
And
but
you guys also have to factor in like this. I know everybody was expecting Spain to do really well because
Nope.
this is, well,
I was
Nope.
okay, well,
the betting public.
you know what I mean. Like the people
Yeah.
were like, Spain,
Vegas.
they've won a World Cup. You know, they're a good team. Amir picked them as his team to win the whole World Cup.
Huh?
What?
Amir,
But Fernando, but
He's the one and only person that's not Spanish that did that.
Lopetegui, their guy, was like sacked like the day before, like 2 days before. You honestly like you could also like you could say, well, they don't play through the. I agree with everything you guys just said, that playing through the center, like you need to have wingers out there and like figure out a way to breed them.
Find your target forward.
Couple things.
No, but that was a great shout. That's an understated.
They had no chemistry. This guy's like, all right, well, I'm coming in here and we're gonna try and win the World Cup, and you guys gotta. They may buy into the system, but like
it was a fun
there's this like bond that you have with the manager when things are going really well, and everything was going so well for them before they sacked them.
And I think Hierro was just in there to manage, make sure the bus doesn't crash. I don't think he was necessarily in there to like, this is our system today, this is what we're doing. So like to your shout, if they kept their manager, maybe their manager would have been like,
because Hierro's a winner. It's just a shitty situation.
It was no.
It was like a fairy tale that it didn't have.
They could have won it. Had Lopetegui been here, I feel like they could have won.
So Tom, you brought up Asensio and Rodrigo.
Yeah.
I thought Rodrigo, when he came on, was legit.
He had a chance to win it.
But, okay, so we have to realize one thing with Russia. They played 5-4-1. If you want to talk about Jose doing parking the bus, Russia was parking tanks. They're parking whatever they possibly could. And the thing is with Spain that they couldn't get their way through. So when Russia countered them, it's pretty much that Spain had to counter back as soon as possible, and they didn't counter. And so then they would let Russia get set up, and then they come down, and then
every time they countered.
But the thing is, what I'm saying is that they had to counter back because they had to draw them out. If they didn't draw them out, then Russia was just.
But the problem is, who are they going to counter with? Who's fast out there?
That's what I'm saying.
No one. Costa, they weren't playing it into him. Dude, this is why I predicted Russia would win, because this is exactly how Russia, outside of beating Saudi Arabia 5-0,
they do, man.
This is exactly what they do. Put 9 guys behind and have Zuba up there to hold the ball up on the quick break. He causes all kinds of issues. He had a decent game. He scored a penalty. Decent game, man. He did his job, man. He did his job. 100%. This Russian team is a scary team to watch, because as much as you want to call it negative parking the bus, it's a bit more thought out than that. It's not pack it in and hope.
Your identity. Know who you are.
Well, they're countering. That's what I meant.
And I think
you had to draw them out.
They had a good game plan, and I think the players executed the game plan like
brilliantly.
I thought the player of the game, even though he didn't score or get an assist, he scored a penalty, was Golovin. Yes. He has been an absolute he knows, even as a youngster, someone as young as he is, he knows all right, we can't go out there maybe in the moment you think oh, well, we can go at Spain on the counter. This guy knows. He's just listen, I'm going to take my chance when I see it. And there were a few times, I think, when they got the penalty, they really went at them. But Golovin, I thought he was not captaining the side, but he was leading the line. He was listen, guys.
He's Luka Modric.
When he got the ball, he knew whether to spray it forward or just let it.
That's why Man United's looking at it. That's why Liverpool's looking at it. That's why Arsenal.
Bro, Man United have enough midfielders. Get a right winger and a left back. So, for God's sake.
He can play attack and mid. He can play underneath the striker. He can play left, right.
With Spain, minus Isco, the most entertaining, most exciting player to watch was whoever's playing right back, Carvajal or Nacho. Because Nacho got the goal, Carvajal got the assist.
Wasn't this game boring as shit?
That's what I'm saying.
Out of all the games we've seen at this World Cup?
Besides, there was that one moment that Iniesta had that moment that went up and scored. Or got the assist or whatever. He dribbled by people. But besides Isco, for the most part, who was really exciting to watch? Rodrigo at the end of the game was. But throughout the entire World Cup, it was mostly whoever's playing right back.
I'll say this. Who's the fastest guy in Spain?
Rodrigo.
Oh, those right backs, right?
Oh yeah, the right.
That's why they were
right
exciting, because everyone else is slow.
Well, Alba.
Asensio's actually quick, but he didn't use.
Asensio, I'm telling you, Tommy, it was the big stage. His first start in a knockout competition, playing in an away crowd. He wanted to keep things clean. I'm not going to be the reason.
You know who doesn't keep shit clean? Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, but it's
he
just
nutted all.
How about De Gea? What about De Gea?
It's just different times. And some guys are ready right away. Some guys take a little bit of time to dip your toe in.
Listen,
De Gea doesn't keep things clean either.
Listen. With De Gea, going off of Huss's point about De Gea, I mean, honestly, you might think I'm scum, but I think this is a good thing. Now I think now he's definitely not going to that whole
reality check.
He knows all right, maybe I'm not as good as I. Well, not even that I'm not ready.
No,
maybe
he's
just listen, maybe I'm not as good as I am.
Or maybe the training I've gotten hasn't put me in the right place.
But I think more as from a selfish Man United fan perspective.
That's what it mostly is.
He's been rumored to be going to Madrid for the past 3 or 4 years now. I think now, I mean, these Spanish fans want his head. And he's probably like, listen, I'm a god in Manchester. I have no reason to go. This way.
Now that he didn't get the World Cup, he's thinking, oh, do I need more trophies? So does he stay at Man United and just get FA Cups?
No.
And maybe League, but probably not with Man City the way they're going. And they're definitely not winning Champions League. So he might want to go to Real Madrid.
Look, there's no definite. We don't know that. Are they?
Okay, fine. Very, very unlikely that you're going to win Champions League.
If Liverpool can get to a Champions League final, the way you guys played over 38 games, any team can get to a Champions League final.
Well, I mean,
money, man.
No, it wasn't Liverpool. It was Mohamed Salah.
Fair enough.
If you have someone like Salah, but I mean,
Alexis,
that could happen this summer.
Alexis could wake up. You forget we have Alexis.
Like, Lukaku.
I think United forgot they had Alexis.
They did,
but they also got Pogba.
They also have Jose that won't let him wake up.
Maybe not.
I'm just saying, De Gea.
Jose's the fucking witch from Snow White.
Your premise is he's not sure if he's going to leave because he may not be able to handle the pressure of a Real Madrid.
No, I never said that.
Or, that's kind of what it sounded like.
No, I said, does he want to go to Real Madrid for trophies? Because he just missed in the World Cup. He's probably not going to win the top tier ones with the United now.
I think based on the media,
he's running out of time.
Dude, they took a poll. 50%.
He's young.
50% of the fans.
He's like 26, 27.
He's a goalkeeper.
He's 27
until he's 40.
How old is Neuer? How old is Neuer?
So you think Manchester United is going to win a Champions League in the next 5 years?
In the next 15, potentially, yes. I could bet Man United winning a Champions League in the next 15 is not crazy.
2 years old,
dude. Bro, look at Buffon. Look at
a goalie. That's my point. He's a goalie. If he's
going to play till 38, he's got 11 years. Tough. They could win in 11 years.
He's got a decade.
10 years. Yeah.
He's got a decade. Huss.
Listen, and you go and you say it's crazy to say that we could win a Champions League in 5 years.
That's
like
insane.
you never. Did we think, like, realistically, did you really think Liverpool, at the beginning of the season, was in your head, we're going to make the Champions League?
No, of course not.
So that's the thing, is like, you never know.
But do you want to be...
Today...
No, do you want to be one of the best United goalkeepers? Do you want to be one of the best goalkeepers of all time? And no, are you going to go through your career saying, you never know, or you go to Real Madrid where it's likely?
Oh, you mean the same country that wanted him to be dropped after the first game? It's a different media.
That's the thing. That's what I'm talking about.
I think he can handle it. I think he could go to Real Madrid.
I don't think he's ready.
I think he is.
He's not Real Madrid ready, bro.
He's physically ready. He has all the ability in the world. But if he makes 2 or 3 errors now at Madrid, now we're saying.
I think it was the last podcast or the podcast before. One of you guys said that they wouldn't boo him because he's Spanish, just like they did with Casillas.
Okay, they say that until you fuck up against
Barcelona in a Clásico. But at the same time, I think he'll do better than Navas, I think.
Well,
and with the defense in front of him, and there'll be outscoring plays.
Navas is mentally strong, and you see the age he is in his 30s. He's been there all. He's seen it all.
And as well as Navas has done, they're still looking for a replacement every summer.
So basically what this all stemmed from was Snack saying that you thought he was thinking, maybe I won't go to Real Madrid because I'm not ready. I don't think that's the case because he can make the switch anytime. I think he is ready to make that switch.
Huss,
whether he's going to, I don't think he will make the switch,
Huss, you might be right,
but I think he is ready.
Because I don't want to be swayed, and I think that's what's happening a little bit is that I'm being swayed by this tournament, the World Cup, because I don't think De Gea had a good tournament.
No, he didn't at all.
And we failed to mention, but we will mention now, this game went to PK's first game to go to PK's this World Cup, extra time and everything.
And he didn't save one.
He got a strong wrist on the first one.
Saved that one.
And, if he's having a better tournament, maybe he hits that out. So those things right there, man, if you don't make those plays, maybe I'm letting that swing me, but mentally I don't think.
Here's the thing, but going off of that point where you said, does he want to be the best United goalkeeper of all time or the best keeper of all time? We often say he's the best goalie in the world, right?
Yeah.
Like right now, he's the best goalie in the world.
Yeah.
How many trophies has he won? You know what I mean?
No, I understand that.
I think with keepers specifically.
But what other keepers in the world have won, like that we hold at a high level, have won more than their league?
Neuer.
What has he won more than his league?
Buffon.
Yeah.
What has he won? Has he won Champions League?
No.
Has Neuer won Champions League?
Yeah.
Neuer has.
So it's only
Neuer has.
One?
Yeah, one.
Yeah, and a lot of people will say that he's better than De Gea at this moment, or De Gea is second.
I don't want to get caught up in trophies
before this year,
it's like getting caught up in stats. Look, trophies tell a story. They don't tell the whole story. It's the same thing with stats. You have to take into account the entirety.
It's like
of the
saying,
player's career.
Does Salah want to be the best player at Liverpool, or does he want to go to Real Madrid and win trophies? Like, you
not
can't
yet.
Just jump.
In 2 years, yes.
But you can't just
maybe
jump
next
to
year,
that.
yes.
But you can't just jump to that. Some players, it's about being at the right club. It's about being appreciated by the fans. It's about being loved. De Gea could have literally left 4 years ago.
If Salah's 27, yes, he does leave.
He's 26 right now. One more year. He's 26
Yes,
right now.
there's a good chance in the next year or two if Liverpool do
There's no
nothing.
way.
I think he's gone.
Listen, I'm not saying Salah's not
Some
mentally
guys
strong.
aren't glory hunters.
That's
bro.
the thing is like,
Not
if you're at the
everyone's-
right, look at Wayne Rooney, for example.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney could have left multiple times in his career. Maybe,
But he won with the United, and they were doing really well.
But he could have gone to Real Madrid and cruised.
Yeah, but maybe not. Maybe
That
not.
was
like
a different
rumor.
era for United.
But what I'm saying is like maybe the rumors and stuff weren't there
Ronaldo
for.
still left.
He almost left in 2013 to go to Chelsea, and I'm pretty sure Chelsea are just coming off a Champions League win in 2012.
Di Matteo.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Some players.
you could say
Steven
like he
Gerrard
could
did the
leave
same
and
thing, I
glory
understand.
hunt and stuff like that. But
Trophies
like
on everything, man.
when you look
tell
at the
some,
levels of like a Salah and a De Gea, and you look at what they're doing for their clubs right now,
And by the way-
you can make that argument that they could be the best of all time where they're at right now because they're playing at such a high level.
But the main part of this argument was saying that because of this, you said that because of this tournament, you say it's more likely he won't leave.
Yes,
And I
yes.
disagree with that.
I say based on the way the media treated him.
That's
he's
what.
not
That's
gonna go.
kind of
That's
more
it.
of the point
Yeah.
I was going
Not
for.
not because Real Madrid, he doesn't like Real Madrid.
And maybe he
blah, blah,
didn't
blah.
play well. That has nothing to
Based
say
I
on
don't
the
think
Spanish
anything
media,
has
they
changed
turned
at
it
all.
on.
That's my point.
All right,
I don't think
fair
anything
That's a
has
fair
changed.
point. That's a
Yeah.
fair point.
By the way, just a quick correction. Salah and Egypt did not win the African Cup of Nations. It was
Cameroon did.
Cameroon who won it in 2017. Just want to clear that up.
And one more point
that was
before we.
off air,
Yeah,
bro.
one more point.
Yeah, that was
Kind of going on
off. That was
Salah.
off. Yeah,
That was
that
off.
was
Yeah.
like an hour ago.
Yeah. You're correcting something that happened off air.
You still fine, huh? Still
No,
stand
that was
corrected.
like 2 or 3
Yeah,
hours ago.
I'm trying to change the subject for you, Tom.
I'm going nutty.
Going back on your point, or going back over the whole, like narrative and stuff like that. Salah had one of the best years of his, like probably arguably the best of like any season
All
we've
time,
ever
yeah,
seen,
it's-
right?
It's up there.
And he won no trophies, but he still he could be a Ballon d'Or contender. He's one of them. He's
Well, he won the
literally one of them. He was a year ago today. He was irrelevant. Mo Salah was like that 30 mil, 40 mil guy. He's that solid, really good player that'll bad 20 goals for you. No one expected him to lead
No,
Liverpool.
He led you to the Champions League, bro.
And you
Chip
guys won
on
no
his shoulders.
trophies, but he still has that thing over his. Mo Salah is like one of the best players of all
But
time.
look, another thing you have to
the clock
remember is
is
that-
ticking. The clock is ticking. You probably have 2 years to put some guys around him. And look, you got Fabinho and Keita in that midfield where you
Might
guys
have
need a
Fekir
bit of
coming
power.
in.
So, like, the team is building, man. Liverpool's not that far. The arrogance for you to say United won't win a Champions League, meanwhile Liverpool's in the final, was weird. But, dude,
they get some really good
of the
draws.
any of the top 6 except maybe
Emotional.
Arsenal and Tottenham because they just have to put in more pieces. But any of the top 4 could win a Champions League. Chelsea can put it together. City can definitely put it
But-
together.
but
United and Liverpool can put it together.
Arsenal
it's
too.
only. I think
I don't know about all that.
All right, next
Not
5 years.
yet.
Next week.
Look at it
Hold on,
slap
hold
me.
on.
I think
Next
you
5
only
years,
need
who has
to
a better
win-
chance, Real Madrid or Real Madrid to have 2
Dude,
or
next-
United have 1?
We don't know
What,
because
what
there's
has a
a
better
new
chance?
manager. There's a new
I think
manager.
Real
Things could
having
fall
2 is
apart.
better.
Things could fall apart. There's a new manager. They just got off the Zidane.
Be
train.
honest with yourself right
Ramos,
now.
I am, bro. 100% being honest. Ramos is aging. We saw him in this World Cup. He's aging.
Yeah, this
we
shit's
saw
about
Marcelo
errors, right?
injured.
Like we saw Barcelona dominate for like
Barcelona-
Barcelona.
No, I understand that.
3
And now
years.
look at how
Now
bad they've
Madrid-
fallen
2
off.
years,
Madrid's
everything's up in the
dominating
air.
Champions League.
I would say Barcelona has a better chance of winning a Champions League than Real Madrid in the next couple of years,
with
only
the-
because we
but-
We're
don't
talking
know.
about a lot of people.
Yeah.
We're not mentioning Igor Akinfeev. And
The 8.9
this guy,
rating on who scored.
9 saves.
Beast.
I mean, the most colossal save, and I think this one will be one for the memory books. Russian fans and all soccer fans will look back with that kick save he had on Iago Aspas.
To win it.
Let's not
Oh
forget
my
about
God.
Dzuba, that center forward for Russia.
Who?
Zuba.
Zuba.
Okay.
Where did
The
Zalman-
enormous
That was good.
dude. Every time there's a zone, he's pointing to his head. He's trying to flick it on.
You see his
Just try-
celebration? That was sick.
Oh, my-
that was
that guy-
balling. And
that
he's
was
like,
for Russia.
he's screaming. He's like, that
was-
was
that
balling.
was for Mother
he's like
Russia.
he's like
Sorry, I didn't mean to
27
get in your
point
personal space.
agility,
Let's go. I was just
95% strength. That guy's all power all day.
And he moved down to a smaller club to get playing time, so he would get into this World
I
Cup.
can
He
feel-
I like
only-
that guy a lot.
He only got into the starting squad because the main guy got hurt in that first game, came off, and this dude came on, I think, and scored a
That-
goal or 2 in that first game.
No,
against,
the
Saudi
the
Arabia.
guy that came on was
Cheryshev.
Cheryshev.
Got it.
Yeah,
Dennis.
he
The
guy's
started.
been on
Zuba
fire.
started.
I mean, in the first game.
In the first game, yeah.
Against Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that
started.
was
Cheryshev
Cheryshev.
started.
No,
No, Zuba.
Cheryshev was the one that came on because of the injury.
Was he?
Yeah, Cheryshev
So
was.
Juba didn't start in the first game. I
Check
thought it
it.
was Smolov
Check
who
it.
started.
It was smaller.
Well, okay,
Zuba didn't.
then let's
You're right.
check this.
Zuba-
But it was Cheryshev that came on for the injury.
All
and
right,
scored.
fair
semantics.
enough. What I'm saying is Juba
It's too
didn't
hot.
start.
It is very hot.
I didn't say Juba.
Shout out to the
against Saudi Arabia?
39-year-old on Russia, Ignashevich, if I'm saying that
Juba
right.
start.
Getting own goals out here, but He's still a warrior, man.
He scored a penalty. He scored a huge penalty.
He bounced back from getting that own goal against Sergio Ramos. But I think, boys, we should smoothly transition over to the last game of the day, Croatia versus Denmark. I mean,
this was a disgusting game to watch. It was so boring.
Nah, look, this was chess.
It was.
It's like watching two people play chess. If you're looking for bang bang fireworks,
this was not.
The game
Yeah,
for you.
exactly.
But if you're tactically minded and realize how much respect these two teams had each other, not fear, but respect. This was a game in the midfield, and I don't mean center mid. I mean like the middle third of the field. There's the 3/3 of the field. This one was in the middle, man. It was. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of tension.
I thought it was more lively than the Spanish game, honestly, than the Spanish-Russia game.
Yeah.
Because Russia was just sitting back the whole time. These guys were actually going at each other.
Dude, there were 34 shots in this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not sure how many on target, but 34 shots overall. These teams were attacking each other. It was weird because Croatia was in control, but for me, the more dangerous team was Denmark, and maybe because they were hitting him on that break. I think if a guy like Sisto started this game,
unreal when he came on. He
game.
almost had a
That
goal.
speed to catch him.
Yeah, man.
That was a bold call not to include him because he came on and he was very, very lively.
Yo, I started a new love for the center back for Croatia, Vida. That guy
with his ponytail,
his man bun, his crazy personality. This guy, as Snacks would say, he's perfect for Liverpool. But no, but honestly, and look, I'm looking at who scored right now. They said that Schmeichel was the player of the game. Yes, I can see why he got points because he made the penalty save. But
he's not really a player.
Well, he could have made a better position save, but the guy went right around him. So I want to blame him, but not too much because that's a tough thing for a goalkeeper to do. So he got all the points, but none of the negatives. I feel.
You had someone else player of the game.
Careful, Huss.
I know, it's tough, but I'm going Croatian.
Who?
They won.
The goalkeeper for Croatia.
You mean the guy who caused an error?
No, I'm going the guy that saved multiple shots in the penalty.
The guy who knocked it into his own net. That guy. In the first minute of the game.
Okay, you're really gonna blame him for that? That was just like boom, 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 boom. No one even knew where the ball was.
Dude, use your feet.
Why
are you still trying to drop your arm that low?
He's gotta be guilty for not being switched on.
Use your feet. Kick
Everyone
save. That's
there.
a kick save position.
I'm still saying that he came up. He showed up in the.
I'm not too mad at the PKs thing. At the shout because he made 3 PK saves or 2.
Yeah, in the shootout. Look, shootout at cross out, man. Shootout, cool. It's great. You helped your team. In the 120 minutes, bro, Schmeichel, unbelievable, dude, going head first, throwing off. Who was it? Was it? It
was off a rebound.
Yeah,
I think maybe Mandzukic or whoever.
Yeah, I think it was Mandzukic. He threw off, dude. He saves a penalty when it matters, and not just like
he snuffed it.
He snuffed it.
He ate
it, dude. He
gobbled
it. How about that time that Schmeichel punched the ball away when he should just plainly just caught the ball?
Agreed.
I mean, look, I'm not saying he had a bad game.
No, I know, but
I'm just giving the points to the victor because he had a really good game, Schmeichel, because they Croatia had double the shots on target, which was 6 to Denmark's 3. But I feel like there was a lot of times that Denmark would just be pressuring way more than Croatia when Croatia was sitting back in that second half, and Denmark really brought it to them. I was very impressed with the Denmark team.
I was too, and look, at this stage, the round of 16, I know some people may kind of hate on Japan because of how they went through and maybe felt as though Senegal deserved to go through.
They did.
My theory, though, still is everyone deserves to be here at the round of 16.
Agreed.
Okay, and
if you earn it, you earn it.
For me, Rebic, Huss, I think would have been a better shout for man of the match for Croatia because to me, he looked very dangerous.
He should have put it away.
Should have put it away, and maybe that's why he didn't get the man of the match, but he was very, very dangerous.
He got lucky. He got very lucky.
Non-man of the match.
Don't say it.
Mr. Napper himself. I'm so pissed at him. Guy who should have made a move. He's got that Serie A weight on him.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else.
Perisic, dude. Perisic, this whole tournament. Look, they still go on to the next round. So, like, he could. Dude, he's 29. That's what hurts me the most. If he's 32, I get it. He's 29. He's not involved. That's the other thing. I don't expect him to be out sprinting dudes. He's been doing that his whole career. He's got, dust in his legs at this point.
Dust in the wind?
Something, dude. Check in. Draw attention to yourself. He disappeared for chunks. The way you were saying Rakitic disappeared for chunks of this game. Perisic, I don't think ever showed up, man. And it's frustrating because you watch him in the Euro 2016. This dude was causing all kinds of havoc, man.
He looked so good in the Euros. The way he took people on just went right down that side right there, that left side.
Dude.
He had speed. Like this game, I think the most move, the the biggest
take
the biggest contribution that I saw was he did 2 scissors in a row, then had a good decent ball cross.
Was this?
Why are you not doing that more often with this dude? Wait, what?
Am I going crazy? Was this game? Did Perisic even play?
Yes, he did. He did.
They got him subbed
Are you
out
looking
on
at
who scored.
Yeah, who scores? I said that.
Oh wow,
But-
that's how.
It's
So-
That's how, like
It's
wow.
lame.
So Paris,
Oh my
So you
God.
because
it's like
there was that one time that he came down, scissor, got the defender to bite a little bit, then cross the ball. Why are you not doing that every time, or at least making him uncomfortable?
Scissor every day.
No, no.
Sometimes you
What
gotta
I'm
stick
saying
it
is
in.
making him uncomfortable so you can either cross the ball, cut it back,
Just
cross the ball,
just
or
get
go and
involved.
shoot the ball. Take the guy on.
Dude,
Yeah, I wanna
possession.
see you use them in FIFA.
Plain and simple.
Scissor.
The Danish.
But no, that's what he did. That's what he did. He did 2 scissors and then crossed the
Wasn't as
ball.
direct,
And I'm
yeah.
not saying scissor the ball every time twice, but if you did it twice right there, maybe next time do 1, or maybe not scissor at all and then
basically-
cut in.
Basically, what Huss is saying,
Switch
take
it up.
people on.
Yes.
No, just take people on. Take people on more. Kasper Schmeichel had more possession than Perisic. For me, that's foul.
sad. That's sad.
foul. The opposing team's goalkeeper had the ball more than you did.
What about Christian
Unacceptable.
Eriksen, right? We always put the spotlight on like the guys who are the best players on the national team or club teams.
Dude, for me,
The PK
Taking a
miss,
nap.
Do we hold that? You know what I'm saying? He's the first guy to take the PK in the PK shootout.
Denmark
He gotta bang it
Denmark
in, doesn't he?
needed a Tottenham strike right there. When he
Right.
just cuts it in and hits the crossbar down in, they need a special
He didn't
moment
really shoot
from
from
their
distance too
their
much this
number
game.
1 special player.
yeah, look, for me, man, PK shootouts, it's up in the air, bro. It's mental.
I'm talking about also 120 as well
120
as
minutes.
the PK.
I think this is Eriksen, dude. Eriksen can ball, but he needs help around him. He's not. Look, he's done it for Tottenham.
shutting that shit down. They weren't having him shooting from distance.
Exactly. Like, Eriksen, yes, has those special moments where he wins game, but he's not a win the game by himself day in, day out. Just like Modric is not. Modric can do it at times.
I think
but
Eriksen
day
more
in, day
so
out, he's
is.
not.
You know what? De
Eriksen needs
Bruyne
pieces.
is clearly better than Eriksen, but I think that Eriksen has that ability in assisting and scoring as well.
I think De Bruyne, if he was allowed to play with the freedom Eriksen is, we'd see the proper De Bruyne. Because we see the outside of the boot crosses from De Bruyne. We see that when he was at City, play that ball to the back post to Aguero. If he was allowed to just roam that position and not play in a system like Pep's where it's very defensive focused, even though they attack a lot of defensive responsibility.
Yeah, 'cause he's a better player.
Eriksen's allowed to kind of float. He's allowed to take some time off defensively. De Bruyne would do Eriksen's work 10 times better, man, if he was given that freedom. But
Yeah, I agree.
Eriksen's still a baller. I think Eriksen would do well at Barcelona or Real Madrid. You put talented guys around him, you're going to see this guy flourish. Unfortunately,
Good shout.
He's
he
ready.
had no help.
I
He had
think
no help.
going on to
Paulson,
this
where you
game-
at, bro? Jesus.
That guy was napping. I thought, this was, like I said at the beginning, it was a very boring game, especially the second half. I thought Denmark should have, at some point, taken the lead because they were going at Croatia. Very entertaining first 4 minutes, but the rest of it was pretty much a snooze fest up until the penalties. And I mean, Denmark are just unlucky. I mean, hey, sometimes things don't go your way. You know, you
PK is
can't.
a coin flip.
You know what I mean? You can't.
Close game.
You can't say like, well, Denmark bro. You cannot say Denmark were not good that game. They were much better than Croatia, but it's not how football works. Sometimes the team that deserves it doesn't go through. So
For me, other than Switzerland and Sweden, this was the next closest matchup, Croatia and
Like
Denmark.
evenly
Yeah,
balanced. Yeah,
evenly
for sure,
matched.
man. For sure. I remember talking to Ego about it. Like, these two teams, like we said, this was a coin flip, man. They stalemated each other, and I'm proud of Croatia for responding right away, having gone down, in the first 55 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Mandzukic came right away. And after that, I think they were both just, like, kind of jabbing the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stir the pot a little bit right now.
Ew.
Because the number one thing that we talked about when it happened, we talked about the most time during this game, was the penalty. Should have been a yellow, should have been a red. The guy sliding from behind.
Good point.
The player, I forget which player was exactly that had
I
the
think it
ball,
was
but
Jorgensen.
was it?
On
Croatia. Goes right by Schmeichel, going towards goal, about to shoot.
Rebic.
And then
Was it bro?
Zanka slides, tackles from behind, takes him out. Even though it looked like he was going for the ball, it still takes him out with nobody in the net.
That to me's got to be a red.
Yes, it's a soccer play, but it was wide open net.
I know of the new.
That's like a
rule.
handball. That's almost like a handball in front of the net.
Look, this
Who did he
reminded
foul?
me of Luis Suarez,
Rebic.
circa Uruguay versus
2010.
Ghana, 2010, at the World Cup, where he handballs it off the line.
Gets a red.
And gets a red card, and they've changed the rule so that the team doesn't get double punishment, in that
Oh.
they don't get a red card as well as
They've only
penalty
changed it
award.
if you don't make a soccer move. So if Zanka had grabbed the shirt of Rebic and pulled him back, that's a red card. But Zanka, like
Went
a
for a
stud,
side.
went for the ball. And he didn't like just hook him. He literally put his foot in there trying to go for the ball.
Through him, though. He did
Yeah,
it through
from
the
behind.
player.
But that's a
So-
soccer move. That's a yellow card usually.
So that to me is a professional who knows what he's doing because he knows the goal's wide open. I have to
Dude,
take
just
him
like
down.
on a break,
Well,
right?
all
Just like on a
costs.
break when they tuck.
Slide
if the goal
tackle.
is wide open, it's a red. If there's a
Slide tackle
goalie, it's a
directly
yellow.
You get your
behind him
penalty.
isn't always a
The
yellow.
reward is the penalty, or
There's
hey,
no
Rebic.
guarantee of an award.
Or hey,
award.
Rebic. There's no guarantee in footy.
Take the
They
chip
should
or
be.
something.
The red. That
No.
should be the reward.
Hey, Rebic, hit the gym, bro. Don't trip so easy next
And
time.
you know
Or
what?
Rebic.
So easy
Don't
to
trip so easy.
All right, let me
you little
tackle
bitch.
you like that.
You
The
little
fuck?
bitch.
That was for me. I've been
Get them
rating
calf raises,
Rebic.
bro.
I've been rating Rebic a lot this and I'm not. This isn't decision of how I feel about Rebic is factored in by the penalty missed by Modric.
Say re-bitch.
Whoa.
No.
It's hot in here, Huss. But
I know.
he should have either chipped him or he should have like tried slotting it in.
Nah.
I thought he took a tuck. He won the penalty, so
He
he
did
did
the
do the
right thing.
correct.
He did the right thing,
do
man.
the correct
Look,
thing.
the
but I
only-
just thought
That
like,
shoulda
when-
got me
The only
7
difference
points.
is Extra
No.
touch. Did he take
That's
an extra
that's
touch?
how the guy managed to catch up to him. If his first touch past Schmeichel was bigger, that would have been a red
Yeah.
because the ball would have been further away. The ball kind of got caught under his feet, so he had to take that extra touch, which then Zanka went in and slid, reaching
That's the
for
difference
the
between
ball.
the red.
That's the difference, literally inches. That's what I'm saying. Hit the gym, Rebic, take a heavier touch,
Dude.
force the defender to ankle tap.
Is that what
you.
your girlfriend tells you? The difference is literally inches.
I mean, I don't have a
Girlfriend.
girlfriend.
Oh, back in the day.
Never, bro. Lindsay never told me that.
Oh shit!
Whatever. She's with me now.
I know. She says it all the time now.
Loving those pepperoni nips.
Hey, leave my nips alone.
All right,
Nice.
man, you
Hey,
exposed it about
but
it.
you know what though? Modric killed me because he should have had the 5 points for the goal.
Yeah.
And then he misses the penalty. Look, I'm always a big fan of when it's at the end of the game, the number one thing is power and just put on net. Because the goalkeeper doesn't know where you're going. And I feel like a lot of goalkeepers always go to one side. Go down the middle. What did he do when the one he scored? He went down the middle. What did he do when he missed? He went to a side. If he went down the middle, I would be 7 points richer in fantasy.
Dude, those down the middle
Soul comes
PKs
back.
give me a heart attack.
Me
I know what
too.
you're saying though, because the goalie's wired up. He's probably gonna pick a side, trying to save something side netting. But man, when a shot is saved down the middle, you look like such a bitch.
Listen up, PFC Nation, because you're about to learn something here. 3 rules to taking penalty kicks.
Stutter,
Number 1,
Tie your
hit
shoes.
it with power. Nice try trying to trip me up. Number 2,
stutter.
Shoes
hit
are
it
tied,
in
though.
the fucking corner. Get the ball in the corner. All right? And number 3,
Stutter.
whatever you do not change your mind. Pick a side and stick with it. If you're going to go down the middle, which you shouldn't because it's against Rule 2, pick your direction and stick with it. Don't change your mind last second.
Oh, then how about, speaking of stutter, how about Schmeichel going after the referee, saying that the shooter stopped, which he didn't, but are you in favor of just a little bit of stopping if the goalkeepers are able to jump off the line early?
Dude,
I'm not
already-
in favor of it. I think it's always going to happen when you stutter. To me, that
like
is
fire
a
or fire.
negative to stuttering.
Yeah, look, the goalie stepping off the line for me, man.
Jazz hands. It's like fire. Actually, could have saw that.
The PK is already
Jazz hands.
favored in the shooter's favor. I think there are more penalties scored than saved. So if a goalie wants to take a little step or two off the line, it's up to the linesman to call it back. They don't call it back. I think it kind of.
But are we all in favor, though? That wasn't stopping.
No, it wasn't stopping, but it was very close. But it wasn't.
It wasn't.
It was very close, but
I've
it
seen-
wasn't efficient. I've seen Neymar
that was
almost go backwards and restart his run and stutter. But man, Croatia goes through. Congrats to them. I don't know how they get 6-1 odds. Craziness. I think that's another Icelandic. Everyone's on their dick. They
They've been
barely
scoring
got
goals,
by.
man. They've been
No.
banging in goals.
Yeah, but
Group
this was-
stage.
Yeah, group stage
But
is
it's
cute,
not- but
man.
it's not-
Group
but it's
stage for me.
knockout stage.
but
Denmark,
now.
Denmark hasn't.
No, but Denmark also blanked France. You know what I mean? So Denmark has that organization for me.
What wins championships?
Anyone could have gone
Goals,
through
man.
here.
Goals.
Thank you, goals, and they only scored 1 today.
Should have scored
I guess
two.
it's
Should have
only-
scored two.
You
Modric,
make
God
odds
dang
based
it.
on past history.
Watch him
right?
against
That's all I'm
Russia.
saying.
I'm gonna predict it right now. Russia over Croatia. Right now.
Ooh,
Predict it right
okay.
now because
Host
Croatia
nation.
likes the possession just like Spain does. Russia will give you 80%. They'll give you 1,000 passes. That counterattack, you're Lovren. You better be ready.
You know what?
bro.
I might actually be.
Lovren, you better wake the
No,
fuck
I might
up.
actually be on that boat for the fact that
It's
Croatia
Croatia
will
Russia's
need-
hands again.
Croatia needs a special goal And I feel like Croatia already took up their special goals.
Wow, look.
Why do they
now
need a
we're getting
special
weird.
goal? Why can't they just have a regular goal?
Because when you're playing 5-4-1 and you have 9-10 people behind the ball all the time.
Why can't it be an own goal like Spain scored?
I don't see it
They scored
happen.
an own
I think
goal.
Russia. No, I don't see that happen. I think Russia. No, what do you mean? Real? I'm not getting
What
to
do
the
you
bite.
mean they're out of
I'm agreeing
special
with
goals? No, but you said they're out of special goals.
It's like
What does
the
that mean?
only way
How do you
Croatia can
debate
score against
that?
Russia is a special goal. No.
Listen,
It could
Croatia
be
is a
stumbled
better
over there.
Too
Look
many
at
people behind the ball.
Look at Mandzukic's goal. There was nothing special about it. It was
They
a mistake
scored.
off someone's face. Like, that can happen.
One of the worst. I feel like Russia's almost like a Liverpool where they counter so much that one of the worst things you can do is drive
Everyone's
down
like
the throat,
Liverpool, man.
and then they counter so quickly on you that you're on your heels, and now you have to track back.
That's
I
why
think
I
you're
think
on your
Russia-
heels.
I'm never on my heels. I'm always on my toes. Always.
All
right, guys.
Feet or you got arches.
King Kong has nothing on me.
You got flat feet, don't you?
King Kong ain't got no
arches.
I don't know. Well, I might have flat feet, but I'm always on my toes, so they're not flat.
Always
They're
on my
an angle.
toes.
Angle feet.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. We're clearly spiraling. Snacks.
Watch your angles.
Thank you for making a
course,
guest
of
appearance
course.
as always.
I'm dying in here, but it's. of
Al is
course.
in Chechnya right now.
Is he?
He's with a bunch of smugglers trying to get himself into Russia.
Yeah, honestly, if you see Al, give him a high five because we don't know where he is.
Please, where's Al? Where's Waldo?
Oh my goodness, I love that.
Real quick though, we got the rest of the quarterfinal games coming up. I'm gonna run through the predictions real quick, right quick. We got Brazil taking on Mexico. Everyone has Brazil except me. I got El Tri, Chucky, Chiche,
Bastardo.
If they-
Bastardo.
Chiche.
If Mexico beats Brazil, does Brazil actually just go up in flames the next day?
Dude, this would be like the first time Mexico's advanced beyond the round of 16 since
This
like
is-
Ever?
1905 or ever. Like it's been
Since
so
1905, he says.
But look at the energy they bring because if Coutinho
Yeah, I
does not
know.
show up, who's going to have that special moment for Brazil?
Neymar.
Neymar could.
let's
You
not
think
get
he's gonna show up?
Javi Jesus could. Willian.
I think
I don't know
Neymar's
about
still on
Javi.
vacation.
Casemiro
Neymar's
could,
still on
Firmino,
vacation with Justin Bieber.
Fabinho.
Philippe
You
Luis
and Justin
could.
Bieber.
No,
Thiago
No, not
Silva.
me and Justin
I
Bieber.
think-
Neymar and Justin Bieber.
I don't think it's gonna be a game where Brazil doesn't show up. I think they will show up. They got a lot of pressure. I think it'll be a game where Mexico needs a bit of luck. Just like Germany, when they beat Germany, Germany showed up that game. It's just they didn't have the gods on their side.
I don't think they did show up Germany that game. But what I will say for this game, the weather is actually a big factor. Apparently, it's supposed to be 95 degrees.
Kind of like in the
Fahrenheit
studio.
when
Suits
they
them
play.
both. Suits
Oh
them
my
both.
goodness.
Suits them both.
Sweating.
They're from hot nations.
We'll see who has the advantage. out there.
And then we got Belgium versus Japan. We all got Belgium going through in that one. Lukaku hat trick.
Does everyone have
Psych.
fantasy-wise?
Yeah, well, 'cause I
he
can
ain't
step it up.
scoring once.
First
Thank you,
off,
Tom.
Hate him.
Call him out.
No.
Fifth best player in the world. What are you doing,
What's
Huss?
Okazaki?
I'm having Belgium because they don't start Okazaki. If they start Okazaki, I'd have a chance.
Some fifth best player. He is.
No.
Sweden versus
If they had a top
Yeah.
5 manager, they would
Backtrack.
start him.
Sweden
He's a
versus
man.
Switzerland. Everyone has Switzerland. Tom has Sweden. I dig that one. I dig a Forsberg and a little Bjerg.
Let's go.
Bjerg.
I have Swiss in the predictions, but I have Sweden with Forsberg in fantasy.
And then Colombia
Oh,
versus England. We all got England.
Shouts
there.
to Lingard, the GOAT.
So
Better
we-
than Ozil.
Harry
Come on.
Kane, I need 4 goals.
This dude, snacks, man. Lingard better than Ozil. Lukaku, raw.
Gotcha. He's got you right
This
here.
might be the
fish
last
hooking.
time.
I'm not
Snacks
fish
on
hooking
as a
him, man.
guest.
I'm being as serious as it is, man. I'm telling you, he had more goals this season. He's shown up. I mean, he's still in the World Cup, and Ozil ain't.
You open your eyes and raise your eyebrows so large and wide when you talk about Lingard. Don't tell me. I'm telling you right now, Lingard.
It's love.
Listen,
Dude, you
that's
just
my
love
love
them
for.
Coke.
Hey, listen.
Lingard.
Listen.
Man, you
All
should.
right. Let's not
Like Al
get
Pacino out
straight
here.
into the mic.
Oh, my
That's
bad.
the Jesse.
Sorry for your speakers.
If you can't see, I wish the fans could see, but I'm doing the J Lings right now.
Boom.
Shouts
Just
to Jeremy
doing
dropped
the
dropped
Black
his new
Panther.
clothing label.
He's the
He's ready to
bro.
go, man.
He's the new David Beckham.
King of the rats.
He's the
The
Rat
games
King.
aren't even similar.
He's
but
gonna be
okay.
He's gonna be
Well, he
starring
has
in
that impact.
the Nutcracker this coming Christmas.
You
Crack
got that,
your
you got that
nuts.
model face, Lingard, the Rat King.
Low key.
You got that. Loki.
I kind of want to make a T-shirt, the
Low-key
Rat King.
face.
Loki.
All right, guys, we'll be back to review the rest of the 4 at some point this week. Thank you for joining us. Anything else before we go?
Make sure your fantasy's on top of it because we're coming for you.
All I know is that Huss didn't say when it comes down to it a lot this episode.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
I'm
I'm
kind of
proud.
disappointed. I'm kind of disappointed.
No, I go in phases. I had fantastic, then I had something
Yeah,
else, then I
you
had
did
that.
have fantastic.
When I get hooked on something, I like it. Then I throw it away.
I'll send you